Good morning. Questions. And it's first thing on Friday morning. Now, firstly, a big thank you to all those who have completed the questionnaire so far. It is already showing some interesting trends and some valuable insights. If you have not yet completed it, do please consider doing so, even if you live further afield, because if you are accessing our website resources, we would like to know. Now, the link does appear on the emailed version of the Viral Times, so do take a little look at that and click on it and see if you can answer the questions and give us a bit of a help there. Now, one point we should make is that the suggestions that we have outlined for service provision are just that. They are suggestions. They're a list of possibilities for an interim period between the end of lockdown and a time when we are able to return to the patterns that we held before. There is no intention to abandon any of the services that we used to do. What we need to establish are the types of worship that people would like to be able to attend, for example, Eucharistic or non-Eucharistic, and also the times that people may be willing to come to services. Now, what we wish to offer is the chance for everyone who wishes to receive communion, but this may require asking people to come at particular times to cater for social distancing in the church buildings. Our one service we have been specifically asked about is all ages worship. Now, all ages services will return, but because of the interactive nature of this service, it's more difficult to do it with social distancing. Believe me, if we can find a way to do it, that we will. Now, and also finally, some people have expressed concern that Lindsay and I will be spreading ourselves too thinly with all those services. We are not proposing that all of those services will take place. We're simply looking at what times would suit people, and then we'll make decisions about what we'll do from then when we know more from the diocese. These are uncertain times and we are just trying to map a way through. So your help and support through completing the questionnaire is really valued. So thank you very much if you have already done so. Now, a new email address. If you've opened up your email today or indeed yesterday, because of technical issues, we have started emailing the Viral Times from a new email address, which is one word, connectupintenterden@gmail.com. So everything at the moment is coming to you from that address. We have a feeling that a lot of your inboxes did not like the word viral in our Viral Times address, and so some mornings we were actually dealing with hundreds of bounce backs. So we're going to try connectupintenterden@gmail.com. So fly on the wall. Now, the last picture from John Mackenzie's Fly on the Wall contributions is in today's Viral Times. So why not turn a dead fly into a work of art and hang it on your wall at home? Now, the alphabet of church life. Today it's you. Oh, sorry. You? No, that's not right either. Let's try you. That's better. U stands for unity. Our three churches are part of the Tenterden, Rother and Oxney benefice, and Churches Together in Tenterden. Though there are many things we don't do together, there are lots of things which we do happily join forces for. So U is for unity. Now, ending with a hymn. Over the past few weeks, our popular Saturday evening website service has taken the form of a reflection upon a hymn. Now, up to now, these have been evening hymns, but we would like to widen the selection to include others. So if you have a hymn that you would like us all to explore a little, please do get in touch and we'll add your choice to the list. So if you've got a favourite hymn and you'd like to know a little bit more about the hymn itself or the person who wrote it, let us know. We'll see what we can find out and we will put it in our Ending with a Hymn Saturday evening services. Under the heading of Ride and Stride, the Friends of Kent Churches have been in touch to announce that through last year's, I'm getting very tongue-tied, I'm just going to go back and start this bit again. Ride and Stride. The Friends of Kent Churches have been in touch to announce that through last year's Ride and Stride, they raised the magnificent sum of £140,602. Through our own intrepid cyclists and walkers, we contributed to that total. Now they invite cyclists, runners and walkers to think about participating in this year's event on Saturday the 12th of September to raise money for a church of your own choice and for the Friends of Kent Churches. Now if you would like to take part, please give your name to one of the bunker team and we will ensure that all the necessary information comes your way. And a thanks in advance for you for doing that. Now, St Ives. This is the title of a poem by Jeanette Wilson and it goes as follows. So St Ives. Fine brush strokes on canvas, aquamarine flecked with white, waves lapping on pale yellow sand or breaking by the harbour lights, little boats anchored at safety, embraced by the stone sea walls, touches of colour on side and bow, occasional sail standing tall, lobster pots in tumbled profusion, fishing nets hanging to dry, baskets of shells and sea urchins for sale to the passer-by. Tiers of whitewashed houses clinging to the steep hillsides, catching the early morning sun, watching the ebb and flow of the tides. Streets, winding and narrow, cobbled on the long hill climb, linking the shore and the town, unchanging over time. Shops and galleries, arm in arm, under the old terracotta tiles. Tate Modern, abrupt on the skyline, an art form of its own style. Brushstrokes, the final shading, left to dry in recesses deep, hanging on receptive minds, framed by memories to keep. Oh, a big thank you to Jeanette for that. She's painted the picture beautifully. Now the long arm of coincidence. Anne Ironside has been in touch with several stories of coincidence that go back to her time growing up in East Africa. Now here are a selection. When Anne and her mother came back from East Africa in 1960, they were crossing a street in Piccadilly Circus and they bumped into Anne's old English mistress from her secondary school in East Africa, who was there on holiday. Her next tale is about her friend Cara, whom she knew from both schools, primary and secondary in East Africa. One day in Canterbury, having just started work there, Anne was looking in a shop window near the cathedral gate and looked up and there was Cara. And then a few years later, as Anne walked down through Tenterden, the same person drove past, saw Anne and stopped, saying that she had recently moved to High Halton. So there we go. Another little story Anne sent us. She used to work for the Abbott's Dairy in Canterbury, and one day she was talking to one of the milk tanker drivers. Now he was telling her that he had been working in East Africa in 1952 to 1953 as a guard to a school, and he recalled driving a troop lorry for a coronation parade for the primary school. And it turned out that Anne had been on the very bus that he had been driving. And finally, a few years ago, on a WI outing to Adams Farm in the Cotswolds. The group that Anne was with stopped at Cobham Services for a coffee. On the table next door were Diane and David Barrett, who used to live in Tenterden but had moved to Eastbourne. Now Anne asked where they were going, and it turned out that they too were heading for the Cotswolds. The next day, Anne's WI group visited Adams Farm, and who should be there but Diane and David. So there we go. That's Anne very much proving that it's a small world. Now there is an item on face masks, and we've been given a small supply of face masks that are so far unworn here in the bunker. Now, no self-respecting virus would dare enter this place, so we have no need of PPE, but do get in touch if you would like a face mask or two, and we can provide you with those. Countdown, ever popular. Kate Rawlinson ended up with a staggering 141 words made from Promenade, the word from Tuesday. So congratulations, Kate. Cilla Frank, Stephen and Pat Curtis and Heinrich Richheimer found today's word, which was essential. And from that, Kate, once again, been hard at work. She found 121 other words. The letters for today, SPENTRELY. You won't have got that quickly, but if you have a look at your email version, you will find the letters for today's conundrum and words game. For the numbers game, Neil de Villiers, he was back on form and he found a solution to yesterday's problem, as did Don Schofield, but Cilla Franks had a unique solution, which is in today's edition of the Viral Times. Now, the new numbers target for today is 640, and the numbers are 100, 50, 25, 8, 6 and 6. So good luck with that, especially if you try it against the clock. Now Zoom. On Sunday, the Zoomers will gather from east and west and north and south to participate in a short act of worship. Do you Zoom? If not, would you like to? We can help you to connect up, so do get in touch and we'll help you do the rest. The connection information that you need for Sunday night service is in the Viral Times. Now we start smiling at 6 o'clock and stop around 30 minutes or so later, although we can of course continue smiling, just not on Zoom. Homeward Bound. Now this is the very clever title of our novella. One of our authors, Sarah Widd, suggested it and we think it is brilliant. Now the entire Homeward Bound will be sent out to you in the next few days and will also form the centrepiece of the July and August magazine. So Homeward Bound is how we will now refer to the novella. Website worship. Today you will find on the website prayer during the day, and tonight we have the Northumbria Community Night Prayer. So do join us for those services. Our thought for the day today centres around St Luke's Gospel, chapter 10, verses 1 to 16, and there is also a reflection based on that passage. We have some ideas to help form your prayer for today, should you wish, also in the Viral Times. There's an array of contact points for you if you need any help or support. But beyond that, I think that's about it for today. It is Friday, so it is almost the weekend, although if you're anything like me, every day is very much the same. And every day brings its array of surprises. So here's hoping that you have a wonderful Friday, and please do keep safe, keep praying and keep connected. Goodbye.